For this episode, we want to give a shout out to J. Moss Breakfast Burritos. Who doesn't want sweet tater tots, bacon, eggs, and cheese wrapped up in a tortilla for a meal? Find them in Nashville at 1200 Porter Road and stop by Friday, Saturday, or Sunday morning. Make sure to follow them at J. Moss Nashville on Instagram. Welcome to another episode of the Nashville Dads. For this week, we have on Nashville SC goalie Joe Willis. We talk about being traded to Nashville and then going through the pandemic and having a baby in a new city, funny things his daughter does, his love of nature and hiking, and needing to know why the crowd chants Morgan Freeman at him. I'm still in disbelief this all worked out, and Joe, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us. We really hope you enjoy this one.
Well, Devin, do you want to introduce?
Yes. When we started this podcast, I was like, what if we ever got a Nashville SC player on the podcast, Justin? And today we do.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We have Joe Willis. So, Joe, thank you so much for being on.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yes. I think it feels like the most dad reason why that you're on the podcast is because we literally were playing, our kids were playing together on a playground. And I was like, I just want to make sure you're Joe Willis, right? And you're like, yeah, that's me.
Oh, yeah.
Where was this at?
At 12 South, Lake Sevier.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Cool. All right, you just hanging
that's
out.
my go-to, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's about a 15-minute walk from my house, so my daughter loves the playground there, so anytime we have nothing better to do and the weather's nice enough, we take
Yeah.
a walk over there and hit up the swings for a little bit. She loves the swings.
Yeah, that's a nice playground.
It is.
It is very nice.
That's where we, during the summertime, we go hang out with all the other dads during the farmers market
Yeah,
there.
we go to the farmer's market there.
Love the farmer's market, yep. Oh, yeah.
I feel like I saw you at the farmer's market once, but like I have a very
Probably.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Joe Willis, and I was like, he's clearly here with his kid, just trying to order some food. Like maybe next time bother him, but like not right now. So.
Yeah, we were probably buying hot sauce or gluten-free cookies.
Nice. Do you do hot sauce in Nashville?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. My wife is obsessed with
Really?
it. Oh, yeah.
We had Chris Chang was one of our like first or second guests to be on. Like
No
when
way.
he was actually when we started recording in this.
He was our first guest
He
here.
was our first guest in this space.
Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
He's not a dad, but he told the story of his dad immigrating over here from China in the
Okay.
70s. So
Right on.
we're, as a dad podcast, we're trying to fill all of the
Yeah.
realms of fatherhood.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, have you heard the story of Chris Chang before?
I have.
And that's just insane.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I voted for him for
Cool.
city council
Nice.
Nice.
last year.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, we have bought his hot sauce several times at the stand, and we met him there. And my wife has ordered it online, and I think he may have personally delivered it to our house.
They're very small operations. So
Yeah.
that would make sense.
Yeah, it was great, though. It's great hot sauce, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I was trying to think of this. What has your timeline of living in Nashville been like? Because Nashville SC became a franchise, and like, I know their first season was 2020 because February 29th of 2020 was their first game.
Mm-hmm.
Did you move here like right before the pandemic hit?
Oh, yeah. It was weird. So I got traded here. So there was the expansion draft.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, Nashville SC was a new team. You have an expansion draft where they get to pick 5 players from other teams in the league to kind of help jumpstart their roster.
Mm-hmm.
During that draft, they traded for me. So they drafted someone from Portland, traded him to Houston where I was playing. So I think that was in December, before the season started. I took a trip up here with my wife, and we looked at some different neighborhoods and areas, tried to get a lay of the land. I can't remember exactly when we moved up here, but it was probably in January.
Okay.
We would have started preseason mid-January, so it would have been just before then. I think we moved in. So we played our first 2 games of the season, and then a pandemic
Everything
happened.
shut down. I remember being at that game, looking around and being like, if that virus thing is true, I'm really stupid right now.
Yeah.
I'm in a stadium with like 40,000 people watching a game. I really hope this virus isn't a real thing.
Yeah.
And a month later, was not leaving my house.
Exactly. Yeah. We were in, so we had the first game at home, and then our second game of the season was away in Portland.
Okay.
And I remember being at the airport in Portland coming back when it was starting to kind of pick up steam. And I started seeing people wearing masks. And I was like, okay, this seems a little more serious than people may have thought. And I remember getting on the plane and seeing just a ton of other people with little wet wipes and hand sanitizer wipes, just wiping down everything on the. And I was like, maybe I should be doing this. So I always carry hand sanitizer with me, so I just put some on just to be safe. And I was like, in a window seat, just kind of like this.
But Seattle was also like patient zero, like one of the first cases was in Seattle.
Exactly. Seattle and San Fran, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think West Coast. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty wild. So the pandemic happened, and then
so you new to a new city and new to a new team.
It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So then it was interesting. So we were trying to figure out, the league and the team were trying to figure out what to do because everything,
no one knew.
Yeah, exactly. Everything about it was so unprecedented that we didn't know how to move forward safely while also, providing some kind of product for the fans. And the league was trying not to lose money also. So I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I know we started practicing again we were doing individual practices. So this was at the time we were training at Curry Ingram every day.
Okay.
So we would have like time slots where you could only have 4 people on the field at a time. You couldn't have any coaches. Wow. Like you couldn't have anyone within like 10 yards of each other. So there would be like this field would be sectioned off into 4 areas.
Yeah.
And 4 different people would just be doing individual.
You had your quadrant.
Exactly.
And you stayed in your quadrant.
Yeah. And it's kind of difficult to do anything totally productive when you have no coaches. I guess it kind of depends on your position, but as a goalkeeper, when you can't have someone taking shots on you, there's only so much you can do to.
How do you do shots from middle of the field?
Exactly. Yeah.
That and probably no team building at all.
Oh, none.
Especially for a new team.
Yeah. It was tough. And beyond that, it's not like you could really go out and socialize in public.
Yeah.
So it was my wife and I stuck at the house in a new city, and it was interesting. It was funny because being a new city, friends and family would be asking me all the time, like, how do you like the city? How is it? I don't know.
I can't go out.
Stuck in my house for the last 4 months. Yeah. So that was interesting. I do remember doing a lot of home workouts in my driveway and on a stationary bike. It was pretty interesting. So then once that started settling down and the league kind of figured out a way to move forward, we had the bubble down in Orlando.
Yeah, that's right.
That was interesting. There was a lot of discussion between the league and the players union. And I was on a lot of those calls about whether it was safe, whether we should be going or not, what the tournament would look like, this, that, and the other thing. So we ended up having the tournament. We ended up going, and the first day we get down there, you immediately go to the hotel. Everyone takes a COVID test and then goes to their room. I think the next morning we had like a Zoom call with our GM saying, hey guys, so here's the deal. One of our players tested positive. So we need you all to go down, take another COVID test this morning, and then go back to your room and quarantine until further notice. That afternoon, evening, we have another Zoom call. Hey guys, we had another test. Another guy test positive. So this happened maybe 5-6 days in a row where we just had people dropping like flies.
Yeah, of course.
So I think we ended up with like 11 positive COVID tests.
How many people are on an MLS roster?
So you can have 30.
Okay.
You can have
So a third of the team was sick though?
Essentially, yes.
Wow.
So it was tough. So it happened to us, and it happened to Dallas while they were down there, and it was kind of funny. The way the tournament was set up was weird. There were like several groups of 4 teams, and then there were 2 groups of 6 teams. So Dallas had a bunch of positive tests. They ended up having to pull out of the tournament.
Okay.
So we were the last domino to fall, basically, where it felt kind of like they were it felt like they were nudging us out of the tournament. Hey, if you guys just go home,
I think
we can make this
looks like
clean...
That's two lines. That's 2 lines. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like we can make it a clean 4 teams per group everywhere. Yeah. So we ended up basically quarantined down there for a week and then turning around and flying back.
You had an accidental vacation in Orlando.
Yeah.
Just to sit in your room though.
It was exactly. Yeah. It was, we couldn't leave. You
had to have your food ordered.
Yeah. Food was brought to the room. We were doing workouts in the room over Zoom. We're doing body weight lifts and stuff like that. It was crazy. We were trying to make do with whatever we had, and
basically
we were doing squats on the bed and stuff. It was unique. It was a really interesting experience.
Hopefully they make a documentary about stuff like that.
I hope there are a lot of documentaries in the work, even like the NBA bubble, where I'm like, what did this actually look like? Because that's not normal.
Yeah. So that was interesting. And then slowly but surely the bubble was, I guess, a success by some metrics. So we came back and the season finally started rolling, and we started playing, and I can't remember if we started with half capacity or minimal capacity, or if it was just straight up no fans. Yeah. But because we were one of the 2 teams with Dallas that couldn't play in the bubble, we had to play 3 games against them immediately. Oh. So we played our first game back. I think we went to Dallas, and the next game they came to us, and then 2 weeks later we played them a third time. It was just, it was crazy. I mean, credit to the league. They, were scrambling and trying to make things happen and trying to make it fair for every team. Yeah. But it was a cluster F of a season, to say the least.
Yep. Yeah. Do you feel like you guys commiserated well through all of that? Because I feel like that's a pretty ridiculous scenario to be in. I would hope that would lead to good. While it's a weird form of team building, going through a lot of crap with someone is a very trauma bonding, I guess. It's almost
for sure. Yeah, I think we definitely bonded over it. I think throughout the whole experience, we kept a pretty positive attitude. Yeah. We have a great locker room of guys. Everyone gets along really well. Most of the guys, especially at that time, had some kind of veteran presence, had been in the league for a while. So I think we all handled it pretty well, and we tried to make the most out of it. And we ended up having, moderate on-field success that year, and we made the playoffs and won a couple playoff games. Yeah. So I think, all in all, we handled the situation well. And like you said, it definitely bonded us. And you hear it a lot in any sport, talking about overcoming adversity. And that was certainly a lot of adversity.
11 positive COVID tests might be.
Our first season, a lot of new guys, haven't really played together. And to deal with that and to still kind of make it out on the other side, was,
that
something
whole
that
experience seems mind-boggling.
It was weird. It was it's one of those things where things change so quickly, and you don't really know what's going to happen next. It's okay, do we have practice tomorrow? I don't know.
Yeah.
Can I come out of my house today? And to be fair, I mean, the whole world essentially was going through similar things. It's just, that was my personal experience from it with my job.
Yeah. So. And then I guess if your daughter was born in August of 21, at the end of 2020, would you have found out that you guys were pregnant also?
Yes, we did. So
just add to the fun of everything.
Exactly. She was a COVID baby, and but she came, and that's I was saying, friends and family asked me, how's Nashville, how's the city? So I mean, the first year essentially we were on lockdown, and then the second year my wife was pregnant the whole time, and then we had the baby. It's I don't know, we haven't really been to a restaurant yet. No. It's been 2 years.
You're in 12 South area, which has phenomenal restaurants you should be able to walk to, and only probably in the last 3 months you've been all right, I think we can go to
start exploring now. Exactly. No, we made the most out of it, and we've safe to say we've explored Nashville now and are very familiar with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do your parents still live in St. Louis?
They do.
Sweet. Do they come down that often, or do they try to get down here?
All the time. Yep. They are both retired.
Cool.
And it's a pretty easy drive for them, all things considered. I went to college in Denver, then I lived in DC, and then Houston. All of those are about 12 to 14-hour drives, and they would make those drives all the time. So it's like a 4.5, maybe 5-hour drive from St. Louis. So they're like, easy, done. And then obviously with my daughter, my parents love being grandparents. Yeah. My brother lives in St. Louis, and he has 2 kids as well. So, my mom and dad, for that matter, spend a lot of time with them. So any opportunity they have to come here, and they're also big soccer fans and love me and want to support me. So if they can come catch a game and spend some time with their granddaughter, they're all over it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Has your daughter gone to that many of the games?
She has. She's been to a few. Yeah. It's tough because a lot of our games are kicking off at 7:30. Yeah. So the day games she goes to for sure, and then a lot of the night games, my wife will take her and then just kind of dip out at halftime. And,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and we live very close to the stadium, which is convenient. So it's only about less than 10-minute drive from our house to the stadium. Much. So it's nice. Yeah, she loves tempo. She has 3 tempo dolls.
Are you serious?
And a tempo pillow that she sleeps with every night. I've taken her down to the field a couple times after games, and like she won't be bothered with any of the other kids or the soccer ball. She just sees tempo.
That's it.
And
tempo's the whole world.
That's it. That's the only reason she comes to the game. That's it.
Fantastic. Yeah. I feel like because Nashville, does like 3-day games like the entire year basically. Mm-hmm. It's always Atlanta. Atlanta's always at 12:30, and that's usually the game I'm like, do I take the kids? Because taking a 2.5-year-old to a game is like 20 minutes of like, this is fun, and then the rest of it being like, why did I do this?
Oh yeah, exactly. Exactly. Try and get them to sit still in one seat. And it's difficult.
I do season tickets, and I had some extra tickets, and I gave them to one of our friends, Evan, and he brought his 2.5-year-old also. And it was like, the big fans outside. My son loves those. Yeah. I'm sure it was a great game on the field, but I'll tell you some stories about those fans. That's basically what we did for the entire game.
That's always how it goes. It's the main attraction is never the main attraction for a 2-year-old.
Nope. And there's some age whenever they start to care and pay attention, but I'm sure it's similar. Like if you sit down to watch a movie or something like that, it's like, all right, your attention span is about 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. Every time that we go to a restaurant, as soon as I get my food, I just shuffle it in because I know Ada's going to just want to walk around that restaurant. So I let Haley eat while I'm just walking around, hanging out.
Oh yeah.
Man,
we've gotten in the habit when we go to restaurants and the waiter or waitress comes over. They're like, "Can we get you guys drinks?" We're like, "Yeah, we'll take drinks." And can we get her food immediately? Like, let's get her eating before she starts going crazy. So yeah, we're in a similar boat there.
Do you have something with cheese and bread? Bring it out now. Yeah, that's what she's going to eat, and then we'll think about what we want to eat.
I was gonna say, what is your daughter's diet like?
I mean, she's very up and down with it. For the most part, she's a great eater. She will eat almost anything. But then there's certain times where she'll have a meal with meat and 2 sides, and she'll just decide that night she's only eating green beans and she won't eat the salmon. Other times, it'll be the opposite where she's, only eating rice tonight. But for the most part, she's a great eater. She loves berries, loves fruit. And I mean, I can't complain because the foods that she loves, like if she's not touching anything else, she's usually eating fruits and vegetables. Yeah. It's like, all right, well, I guess
that's fine.
It could be worse.
It could be.
It could be just goldfish and crackers like my kid right now.
Maybe with a side of applesauce.
Man, with applesauce or yogurt, and that is about it lately. Yep. She is, and I guess all 3 of our kids are around the same age, but man, right now she is going through a phase of just basically some type of carb, like a cracker.
There's carbs and there's carbs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But no meat, no fish.
Yep.
No, and then does not like berries.
What?
She likes pears.
There's a kid that doesn't like berries?
She does not.
What?
I have no idea.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Haley is like, is she my child? Yeah. But, and then just pears, oranges, and peaches.
Oh, nice.
And that's about it.
I haven't told you this yet, but Josh has gotten into the phase of whenever I ask him to do something, he crosses his arms and goes, no, like that. And it is the hardest thing to not laugh at him whenever he does it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have reached this phase of parenting yet,
No.
when your kid does something and you're like, that's actually really funny, but you're expressing a lot of frustration.
Oh,
and it's actually kind of demeaning if I laugh at you right now. But also, you're two and you're going, no. And I'm like, you're that's a sitcom moment. That's not, this isn't real life. That's has your daughter started doing anything like that?
Oh,
yet?
100%.
Where you're like, I can't laugh at this because I'm either encouraging or discouraging you.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I need to be better than that.
Exactly. I can't think specifically what she's done, but there have been a lot of times where my wife and I will kind of just look at each other and cover our faces, and we'll just kind of giggle to each other and be like, all right, can't show her that this is funny. We can't be reinforcing this behavior right now. Like,
but also, that's really good.
but it's funny. Let's laugh about this later, okay?
Have you had the moment yet where your wife laughs and then you know you can't laugh because one of you has to be the serious one?
See, I look at it as the opposite. Really? I look at her, and if my wife laughs, I'm like, okay, I can laugh. She's not going to get mad. She can't yell at me for laughing because she laughed. One thing my daughter has started doing is she just calls me Joe now.
Yes. Yep.
So
Justin.
Like, hey, Joe. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe. Where are you? And like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't want, like, if I'm out in public with her, just the two of us, and she's not calling me dad, I'm going to get weird looks. People are like, is that guy supposed to be with that guy with the mustache? Is he supposed to be with that girl?
You know, she probably hears it from your wife.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
She's called me babe before.
Yes.
Yeah, my daughter. Hey,
babe. And you're like,
she's
I
just
don't know
like,
how I feel about this.
Yeah,
two nights ago, my wife and Ada were upstairs in the bathroom. I was downstairs, and I heard her say, "Justin, babe." And I'm like, that's exactly,
Haley.
Yep, that's Haley.
That
100%.
The other day, I think we live close to like Coleman Community Center, and they have like a little basketball thing in there. And I like walked up to it, and Josh immediately walked up to it and went, "Oh man, so close." And I was like, now I know what I say whenever I miss.
Yeah.
Every single time. Whenever you play games, what's your week look like? Like, I know if you play a game in town, I'm sure it's different, but like whenever you travel, like what days are you actually away from your family, and when do you get back and all that?
It's not bad. So if we play on a Saturday, for example, especially if it's on the East Coast or a closer city, we'll leave. So we'll train here on Fridays, and then we'll leave in the afternoon. We usually take off around 4 or so on Friday, get into whatever city we're playing in, have the day there, and Saturday, play Saturday night, and then we are straight to the airport from the stadium back, middle of the night, midnight to 2-ish, and then we're usually off all day Sunday. So it's actually not that bad as far as being away. It's it could be a lot worse for sure. Yeah, it's not bad. The home game weeks are obviously much different, and that's one of the things where I am very fortunate with our job that I get to spend a lot of time at home. I usually get home 1:30, 2 o'clock at the latest on weekdays. So it's nice to come home, and my daughter's usually napping around that time. But, when she gets up, I'm there and get to spend time with her before dinner and obviously have dinner there and everything. So it's nice.
It's actual good work-life balance.
It is a very, very good work-life balance.
Awesome.
Yeah. Very, very lucky, very fortunate to have that for sure.
Yeah, you could have NBA and MLB where I don't know how they do that.
It's ridiculous. MLB, they play 162 games.
Yeah,
I think that's right. Because
half of them on the road.
Yep.
So that's
you don't.
It's crazy
unless your family travels with you. not seeing them very often.
No.
Yeah, it's tough. I will say the hardest time of the year for us for sure is preseason, because we'll go down usually to Florida for 2.5, maybe 3 weeks. So God bless my wife. She's a saint for doing it all by herself. And that's tough. You know, it's tough to be away from your kid for that long, obviously, for 3 weeks at a time. But then I think about, you know, I'm sitting at a hotel, I'm playing soccer, or with people, and then my wife is the one dealing with the screaming kid all the time. So, you know, I'm very lucky to have her as well.
Yeah. Does your wife work?
She does not.
Okay.
She did for a while, and then once she got pregnant, she took some time off and stays home with Holland now.
Nice. Yeah. As a stay-at-home parent, I completely understand.
Yes, I know you do.
Yeah,
I know you do.
There's always something. I feel like it's always fun to describe it to people. It's like, what's your day look like? And I'm like, well, we drop kids off at school, and then I go on an adventure with Josh, which realistically is grocery shopping and a playground. And then we eat lunch, he takes a nap, and by the time he wakes up, I pick up kids. And it's not like there's not actually a lot of time in the day whenever you're at home with kids. So,
right.
So that's cool. I'm glad she's able to stay home and like be primary parent, I guess would be the phrase for it.
Yeah, and that's something we talked about because, like I said, she used to work, and we talked about it when she was pregnant that, you know, we felt it was very important for her for at least one of us. Yeah. It couldn't be me though. So for one of us, for her to be at home and to form that bond with her, and so I'm really glad that, you know, we've been able to have that kind of family dynamic for sure.
Some dads can do it, some can't. Some can't.
Well, some dads were lucky enough to marry a wife who's very smart and very good at careers.
Yeah.
In which they can support the whole family.
Amen to that.
Good job, Heather. How long have you been in the league now? For like 14 years, is that right?
This is my 14th year.
Nice. How's it feel to? I mean, that's seasoned veteran, right? Like,
it's strange. Yeah. You know, I've always kind of set short-term goals for myself. Mm-hmm. So looking back on it now, I mean, when I was in college coming out, it was like, I hope I get drafted.
Yeah.
And then I got drafted, and I was like, you know what? I hope I earn a contract.
Yeah. And
then I got a contract, and I was like, you know what? I hope I play a couple games. And I played a couple games, and it's just kind of been that. And then all of a sudden, it's been 14 years.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, where is the time gone?
Yeah, man.
But it's interesting because I notice it the most just in the locker room, because we have kids now who are 20, 21, who are signed to the team. But beyond that, we have academy kids training with us all the time. We have you know, a couple 15, 16, 17-year-old goalkeepers who train with us on a pretty regular basis. It's funny. Maybe a month ago or so, we were talking about music, and it was like I was talking about some band, I don't remember who, and one of the academy goalkeepers was with me, and he was like, "Oh, my dad's a big fan of them." And
I was like Blink 182 or something like that.
And I was like, you know what? Like that. At first, I was a little offended, but then I was like, well, I mean, I'm probably closer in age to your dad than you. Like, I was like, how old's your dad? And he's like 41, and I was like, I'm 35. You're 17. Like,
how math works.
That makes sense. Okay.
This is one of my favorite journeys to go on is it dad music now? Have you entered into that realm yet of realizing maybe the music you listened to in your youth is now considered dad music?
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
To be fair, I've always listened to kind of older classic rock.
Okay. Hence the mustache.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I guess in some of the bands that I used to listen to a lot of jam bands.
Oh, okay.
Like Fish and the Grateful Dead. I still do to an extent, but not as much as I used to.
Energy.
Yes, exactly. Now I listen to I listen to some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of like jazz funk recently. I had a good friend in high school who played piano and keyboards and was in a band or two, and he was like a big music influence for me as far as what I listen to. And so he was like, he played a lot of jazz as well as like jam band stuff. And that kind of helped get me into it. And I also had an older brother who was really into jam bands. So I kind of took my cues from them. But yeah, my friend from high school, he introduced me to a lot of kind of progressive jazz.
Okay.
And so I've been kind of on one of those kicks lately, past year or two, really, where I've been listening to a lot of that. And then my wife listens to a lot of like, I would say more indie rock.
What was like the last concert you went to?
Pre-baby,
pre-COVID. So 2018.
Yeah. Probably, you know what? It was probably Dave Matthews Band.
Okay.
Nice.
So the jam band is alive and well in you.
Yeah. Yeah. Dave Matthews Band, but that's mainstream. Like my wife doesn't like jam bands.
Okay. Cool.
God bless her. She has come to a couple of Fish concerts with me. Yeah.
I have never really been into a band jam, but when I saw Dave Matthews in Nashville, holy crap.
You got it?
That concert was amazing.
Yeah.
And I was just entranced in the music and their background and all the crap that was going on in the background. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's an experience.
It was awesome. But looking at all the people, there were so many odd birds.
Oh, sure.
I mean, but it was a diverse group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair to the jam band community, they're all great people.
Oh,
they're all very nice,
yeah.
and it's all love.
They were having a blast.
Yeah.
Did you ever go see any jam bands at Red Rocks? I feel like Red Rocks always has a ton of jam bands. That play
You know
at it.
what? That's like the biggest regret of my
didn't go to
college
Red Rocks
life.
while you were in Denver?
I went to Red Rocks. I went to one concert in Red Rocks.
Did you really?
Yes.
How many years were you there for?
4.5. I went to college there.
Yeah.
And it was just always like, I don't know. I guess I did. I'm making up excuses. I had opportunities to go.
Yeah.
And I just didn't. And looking back on it, I wish I did.
Yeah.
But the one concert, this will further solidify my
We're also
taste
both in our
music.
mid-30s, so don't worry.
So there's a group called Celtic Woman. Celtic Woman. And I have listened to them since high school. I remember being in high school, and I would probably high school, and I would be going to sleep, and their infomercials would come up on PBS, and it would be showing their concerts. And they do a lot of like new age music.
Okay.
Kind of like a lot of like Enya.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly what I thought.
Yes,
Yeah.
And like some kind of Celtic folk songs. And I mean, when I was in high school and like watching this fall asleep, I was in love with it. Absolutely loved it. So when I was in college, they played at Red Rocks, and my wife, then girlfriend, I convinced her to come with me. And
and you were still together.
We are still together. She's stuck with me.
She must really like you.
Great story, though,
does.
man. That is a great story.
Except the only problem was we saw about half the concert, and then like a massive thunderstorm came and basically shut the whole thing down, and everyone was scrambling towards the parking lot. So we only got to see about half of it, but it was nice. I'm also a bit traumatized being at Red Rocks.
Okay.
Because my freshman year of college, our first week we were in preseason, and one of our fitness tests or trainings was to run at Red Rocks.
No.
And I'd never really experienced altitude before, and I did not deal well with it.
Who does?
Yeah, exactly. So it's about from like the road to the top.
Oh no.
It was about a 2.5 mile run. And, like I said, I'd never really experienced altitude. I immediately take off, not a sprint.
I know how to run.
And I'm a goalie, so it's not like I'm the most fit guy on the team anyway. Yeah. So about halfway through the run, it starts hitting me that this is not going to end well. And I'm just barely making it up the hill at this point, and like everyone's passing me.
Yeah.
I get almost to the top, and an ambulance comes driving past me. Mind you, this is like August, so it's like probably mid 90s.
Yeah.
Like
it's warm.
Very warm.
Yeah.
And an ambulance drives past me, and I'm like, oh, an ambulance. I wonder what that's for. Keep running, get up a little bit further, and I just see like a couple of trainers or like paramedics and just a pair of legs coming out from like a bush.
Oh, no.
It turns out one of the guys on the team or guys who was trying out for the team had like kidney failure in the middle of the run. And I was just like, this is not what I signed up for. Like, what is going on here?
Stinks.
Yeah, this stinks. Long story short, I finished the run, and I never wanted to go back to Red Rocks ever again.
I did one show out there in like September of 2013. I went and saw, it was like the National Local Natives and Frightened Rabbit. And I remember walking up the hill to get to the stadium, and like everyone else just like walking like it was nothing, and me like clinging to the railing, like hand over hand, just like, is this normal? everyone lives like this is normal for people? And then, sat in my seat and was like, I think I'm going to sit through the opener and not move. Like, if anyone else stands for the opener, that's fine. I'll just sit here.
Yeah.
Catch my breath.
It is just an insane feeling.
Yeah.
I remember me and the CFO in Telluride, we were going to go up. We were going to hike up, not take the gondola up to the middle of Telluride and Mountain Village. I don't know how many feet it was. I get 5 minutes into it, and I'm like, I can't do this. I'm about to have a heart attack.
And you have asthma too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I was like, oh my God. I was like, nope, I cannot do this. So I just said, you can go up. I'm going to go back down.
At the top.
Yeah.
And I'm taking the gondola. But, I can definitely feel you on that.
Oh, yeah.
You're a pretty big outdoors person, right? What's your favorite like national park that you've been to? Or outdoor park,
Ooh, that's a great question. You know what? It's not in the United States.
Oh, really? Where is it?
North of the border. Banff.
Banff. Oh, yeah.
My wife and I.
Banff, like BANF?
BANFF.
Oh, I'm sorry. I left off an F. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've never been, so I can get away with messing it up.
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't know much about it. My wife is also an incredible outdoors woman.
Yeah.
And she is also an incredible trip planner and planned a trip. This is probably 2013, 2014, or no, a little later, maybe 2015. And we went up to Banff. It's in Alberta, near Calgary, for 4 days. And there's Banff and then Yoho National Park and Jasper National Park.
Okay.
That are all really close to each other. And there's this one highway that goes north to south and is basically in the middle of the Canadian Rockies. And it was one of the most incredible experiences. I mean, the hiking that we did there was amazing, but even just the drive, it was insane. And, I had been in Colorado for 4 years and had seen mountains before, but like the sheer magnitude and just the height of the Canadian Rocky Mountains was like, it was breathtaking. Yeah. It was insane. I mean, and we're not the type to usually, pull off on the side of the road and like take pictures, but but we did like 4 or 5 times just driving on that one stretch where it was like, okay, we have to get out and we don't even have to take pictures. Let's just like sit here for 5 minutes and just enjoy this, before we keep driving. So that was
just like Clark Griswold.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's go.
That was probably my favorite. Within the U.S., I'll say, Yosemite's cool. We went to Yosemite a few years ago. Zion is awesome. Really like that. Those are some of my top. I mean, California's got a ton that are really cool. Northern California. I haven't been to like Redwoods, which
I haven't either. So
I really want to go there.
Yeah, me too.
But beyond that, yeah, I mean, my favorite is Banff.
Next off season, that's our guy trip. We're gonna go to Red.
Yeah, hell yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Well, isn't Banff also like where's the closest airport? Because you have to drive like a good amount to get to it, don't you?
Yeah. So we flew into, I believe we flew into Calgary.
Yeah.
And then we drove maybe an hour and a half to almost 2 hours to Yoho National Park, and then stayed there and kind of worked our way up. So it's a bit remote, but you know, that's
awesome.
where the best places are.
Now I remember that was our like before we had kids. We're like, what if we ever went to Banff one day?
Yeah.
And we started looking into it and then got pregnant. And we're like, we'll come back to it later.
Yeah.
And here we are a decade later being like, maybe we should come back to it.
Yeah, you can bring kids. Kids are
bring
allowed
kids,
there.
you know, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Get some passports.
Exactly.
It'll be good.
Exactly. Do your kids have passports?
They do not, no.
Jeez, that's in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, yeah. It's up there.
Justin has pulled up Banff on a map and is now realizing why it would be so beautiful to drive out there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Does your daughter have a passport?
She does. And I think it's the funniest thing in the world because we got it for her like right after she was born.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
she was only a few months old. So like she still has this passport picture and it's just a baby.
It's a baby.
And she's like, you know,
Not
has
a baby?
face
Hey.
and like features now. It's like,
When does it
this could be
expire?
anyone. Like,
When does that
I think it's
expire?
only 5 years.
5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you do the
10
white?
would be ridiculous.
Did you do the white sheet over your body while you held her so you'd have a white background? I've seen
That's so
I've seen that.
creepy.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I don't think so. I want to say my wife like held her
Okay.
up like this, but I
Go, go,
can't.
go, go,
yeah,
go.
yeah, take it. But I can't remember. Yeah, I don't think it was
awesome.
the.
You weren't
the
a
sheet
ghost
over
for a
her
day?
face. No. I think she may have gone. Or you know, it was like 2 years ago at this
Okay,
point
yeah.
now, so I can't remember exactly.
Also, though, like the first year of your child's life, I always feel like whenever your kid turns 1, the birthday party is like we kept everyone alive.
Yeah.
Like so, like what was month 6 like? Alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great.
Still alive.
Yeah, it was great. She ate food.
She ate food.
Yep.
She continues to eat food, and I continue to not sleep.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh. I do have to ask you this question on the podcast specifically. I asked you this whenever I saw you. Whenever everyone chants, Joe says no, whenever you block a goal, what am I allowed to chant whenever a goal goes in?
Nothing.
Nothing. Just screaming. Just God.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could boo.
You can boo.
That's
I
fine.
mean, can I chant? I mean, I still want to start a chant of like Joe said that was a pretty good shot. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like the
it just doesn't roll off the
No,
tongue.
yeah.
I'm not sure how to whip up a crowd into a frenzy with it,
Yeah.
although Joe says curse words. Maybe that could be a good one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll workshop it and I'll come back to you and get your approval on it. Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
We talked about this at the playground. I do think it's pretty fun that people do chant Joe says no. Does that feel pretty cool to be on the field, make a pretty good block or like stop a potential goal, and then hear everyone go, Joe says no. Joe says no.
Yeah, it's cool. It's sometimes it's cool.
Okay.
Sometimes it feels patronizing.
Oh, if you like stop the ball that went past the
It's
last
like,
defender, Joe
yeah.
said no, and you're like, I mean, a soft no.
Yeah, it was a soft no. Like a lot of people would have said no there. Like if I make like a good save,
Yeah,
and to be fair, I'm pretty hard on myself. I'm pretty critical
Sure.
on myself. So
Yeah.
I know like what's a hard save, what's
Yeah.
a difficult save, what's a save I should make, what's
Yeah.
an easy save. So there's like some plays where it's pretty easy, and then they start chanting Joe says no. And a lot of times, you know, I'll give credit to the fans. I think it's just because like I hadn't touched the ball in a while, and they were just
Joe,
like
we still
itching.
love you.
Yeah, they were just like itching to get it out, and it's like the first time I've actually like
Yeah.
touched the ball with my hands, so they would just had
Yeah.
to get it going. But yeah,
Whenever a
But then
center,
it-
when
but
a center back like shields off the person and you just pick the ball up off the ground and they're like,
Yeah.
Joe said no. And it's like, that doesn't count as a shot on goal.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I wonder how those chants get started.
I don't know.
I don't either. I think some of them are. I think that one was probably more organic. I think a lot of the other, some of the other ones at least, are like a bit are scripted. I mean, I know a lot of different teams have similar chants.
Yeah.
Like I hear, you know, just going to different stadiums, I hear the same chant, like certain chants
Yeah.
over and over. But yeah, I don't know. I think most teams most fan supporters groups try to put their own little spin on it and have their own things. There is, maybe you can tell me, there's something that has been bothering me, and I've been hearing it since I came to Nashville, where in the middle of the game, the fans start chanting Morgan Freeman. Have you heard this?
No, Morgan Freeman?
They start chanting Morgan Freeman, and I am always so confused, and I don't know why. Maybe if a fan is watching this or listening to this, maybe they can enlighten me.
I sit above the supporters section, so like I'm not with them, but I hear all like the drums and stuff and feel that energy. But I've never heard. Honestly, people all like I've brought Justin to a game before. And he was like, awesome. What are they saying? What are they saying in these chants? I'm like, dude, I have no idea.
I don't know. I think this one's in Spanish.
I think that one was tequila. I'm not sure. But it was kind of mixed up at the same time. That's amazing, though.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman.
I remember being at Nissan Stadium when we played there, hearing it then. And it's not like all the time. I think there's something specifically in the game that happens that prompts it, but I don't know what it is, and I don't know the meaning behind the Morgan Freeman chant. I want to know.
Trying to
We're gonna put it on. I'm gonna post it on Reddit. I know they've taken or borrowed some of the chants from like the Preds. Like whenever a goal goes in and they go, "Hey, it's all your fault." Like that's definitely Preds.
Yeah.
Are you a Blues fan?
I am.
Cool.
Yes.
Nice.
I am.
I grew up since I'm from Evansville. I feel like the Blues were the closest franchise.
Yeah.
So,
I 2019 when they won?
Yeah, when they won. Yeah.
That was a great year. Great year. Hasn't been so great lately.
Not so much, but that's okay. It happens.
It was good to just get the monkey off our back.
Yeah, absolutely.
For so long, it's like for the 10 years leading up to that, it was like, okay, we have a decent team.
Yeah.
And then we would have a really good team, and then we'd make the playoffs and get bounced in the first round. And it's like, God, we're still like
so frustrating.
One of the few teams that has never won the Stanley Cup. Mm-hmm. And then finally we did it.
Yep.
So
are you a Cardinals fan?
I am.
Nice.
I am.
St. Louis through and through, man.
Exactly. I will not, I'm not going to say that like I'm a diehard Cardinals or Blues fan. I don't watch every game. I try to keep up with it and, see how they're doing in the standings. And if a game's on, I'll watch and maybe watch some highlights, but I'm by no means,
living in Indiana, who did you
for baseball?
root for? Yeah.
So I'm from Don Mattingly's hometown. So we had a lot of Yankees fans from there, but it would either be Cubs or Cardinals. And some Reds fans. I'm not sure why anyone would be a Reds fan.
Whatever.
Are you from Cincy?
Northern Kentucky, right across the river from Cincinnati.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I also don't know anyone to be a Cubs fan. I mean, like, I love misery.
Why? Why
Dude, I feel like the Bengals and Reds are just cursed.
I mean, yeah.
They've been cursed for 30 years, basically since I've been alive.
I mean, what did the Reds win one in the 90s or late 80s?
95.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did. I went to the Grand Canyon with my wife once, and I saw the most like St. Louis Cardinals fan moment ever. Which I saw like an older man wearing like a Cardinals shirt, like talking to a guy, and then like clearly giving him crap or like cracking jokes at him. When the guy turned around, he had a Cubs hat on.
Of course, of course.
I was like, this is so. I was like, you're living into your stereotype beautifully.
Absolutely. And it's funny. I mean, sports rivalries in general, I think, are funny.
Yeah,
because it's like there's no. What's the basis?
Just your team is your team, my team is my team.
Like, like our city's cooler than yours.
Yeah,
but then it's like I don't know.
What would our team be?
Our rival.
It's tough.
I feel like Atlanta.
So Atlanta is probably our rival just because they're the closest team, and I think that's the way the league wanted it to look like.
Yeah,
but I like rivalries that are more organic and come about because of something. Miami is a good rival for us. We both came into the league at the same time. We were kind of, had different approaches to building a team where they were seen as the flashy big spenders and we were seen as kind of the hardworking, underappreciated guys.
Yeah.
So I think that, has more natural rival, qualities to it. But I would say there need to be like big games and big clashes and big moments where rivalries are born. And I think I think proximity does help to an extent, but honestly, that's why I ask, like the Cardinals Cubs, is it just because, the league's older than I am. So did something happen like back in the day?
I feel like if you share a division normally, and
yes.
So
yeah.
But also then, I think of like postseason, like why are the Colts and the Patriots such rivals? Is because of how many times Tom Brady beat Peyton Manning in the postseason.
Well, exactly. So growing up, I hated Boston. I hated Boston sports.
Oh yeah.
And it was because I was a Rams fan. And Brady won his first Super Bowl against the Rams.
Yep.
And they were never the same. And then 10 years later, they left.
Yep.
And the same with the Red Sox when they won their first World Series in 100 years or whatever. It was against the Cardinals.
Yep. And then a couple years later, they beat them again in the World Series. So.
Yep. So it was like, and I was, high school, younger for the football, but in high school during the 2004?
Yeah, 2004, 2005.
So that was like my peak sports fan era. So, ever since then, I've just always hated Boston sports, and it kills me because they're all so good.
Yeah.
Well, it's valid because like something happened. There was a big game, a big moment where they beat my team in the championship, and I just didn't like the way they went about it.
What about the Celtics?
You know what?
That's a hard one to hate.
Here's the thing. I like the Celtics.
Yeah.
Because I've never really had a basketball team growing up. Mm-hmm. I've adopted the Nuggets.
Oh, that's
since
fair. Okay.
I went to school in Denver,
and they're really good.
They are really good. That helps. But the Celtics. Jason Tatum went to my high school.
Oh,
he was
cool.
Way younger than me, so we never crossed paths. But I got to represent for my high school. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I like Jason Tatum. I like the Celtics because he's there.
Yeah.
And because I have no other reason to hate the Celtics.
And he's also an insane freak of nature athlete.
He is.
He is fantastic. He's really impressive to watch play basketball.
Yeah, he does it all, man. He's a freak.
I hate LeBron James because I'm a Pacers fan. So I either watched the Heat beat them for like 3 years in a row or watched the Cavs beat them for like 3 years in a row, where I'm like, you're one of the best athletes that's ever existed, and you beat my team every opportunity we get. So I can't cheer for you. I just
With every team you play on.
Yeah, no matter, you can be in this city or this city or this city. You beat us in Game 7 every single time, and it hurts me in ways I didn't know I could hurt.
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough. It's probably tough being a Pacers fan for a lot of reasons.
That's a different podcast episode. One NBA Finals appearance ever, and it was against Kobe and Shaq. It's just... I have to leave. Okay, I'll come back later. Well, how we end our episodes is we ask the same 5 questions to every guest. Justin will ask the first question.
All right, Joe. Did you have any kid or backup names for your kid?
Backup names? We did not. We had her named before she was born. So Holland is. It's funny. My wife and I will claim different reasons for why we named our daughter Holland.
Okay.
My wife's reason and the real reason is that it's a family name, and it's her grandmother's maiden name, and it's a beautiful name, and I love it. And I'll tell people though that the first soccer game I ever went to, and one of the first memories of my life, was watching the Netherlands or Holland in the '94 World Cup down in Orlando, and that inspired my love of soccer.
Okay.
Wow.
So so it has
That's
dual
pretty
purpose.
cool.
So my wife can claim that it's a family name, but I'll say it's because
Netherlands.
Yes, it's because of the Netherlands, and that was my first experience with soccer.
That's a great story.
Is Netherlands like your backup national team that you follow to the men's national team? Clearly.
Well, the U.S. is my number one for
course.
support.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Germany.
Yes, mine too.
I have a lot of German blood,
Yep,
so
same. Oh, you're from the Midwest. If you're from the Midwest, you just naturally have German links.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, Thomas Mueller is like one of my favorite players of all time.
Love him.
The Radiator.
Yeah.
Yep. The Radiator.
Yes. So there you go. Another thing to relate on, Joe. Good to know.
But the Netherlands are number 3.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, especially like when Van Persie and Robin were on. It was just a very fun team to watch.
Oh, incredible.
We'll start our side podcast later about discussing national teams. Anyway, next question. Do you have a favorite TV dad?
Favorite TV dad? Oh, wow.
Whatever the first one that comes to mind is.
For not the right reasons, yes I do.
Tell us.
I don't know if you guys watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, yes. Is it Frank?
It's Frank.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Frank Reynolds. Yeah. He's my favorite. That's my favorite show of all time. And Frank Reynolds is my favorite
How
TV
much
dad.
fun does Danny DeVito have in that role?
Oh, he's got to have
must
so
get
much
the script
fun.
and just be like, this is my day-to-day?
Yeah.
Heck yes.
Yeah.
The episode where they're at the water park and the way to get up to the front is just the yell, I've got AIDS! AIDS! Just like, oh my God.
One of my favorite
ridiculous.
Frank moments is the Frank and Charlie moment. Whenever Frank realizes that Charlie actually has another room in the apartment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
from the last season, yeah.
And which is great because it means they still are having good jokes. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like, he's like, Charlie, what's this door? And he's like, I don't know, it's not my door. I don't walk through that door. And Frank is like, you've had another room this entire time. It's wonderfully paced. Like everything about it is just like, this is fantastic. It's such a good dumb joke.
Oh yeah. The whole show is just incredible. Incredibly written and great actors.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Christmas movie that they made?
Oh yeah.
Oh my
I've seen every episode at least 2 or 3 times.
That's awesome.
Excluding the last couple seasons.
Yeah.
I've watched it maybe once. But
It's kind of hard to find whenever a show that's that vulgar and everything to be like, hey, my 2-year-old's in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe not this one.
All right. What is your least favorite kids show?
My least favorite kids show got to be Coco Melon. I mean,
it's always Coco Melon.
It's something about the songs that like they're not right. It's like you think the song is about to go like the melody is just
scrambling your
off.
brain.
Yeah.
It is scrambling your brain.
And like it'll show the words at the bottom of the screen, and so it's like I bet I could guess how this is going to go, and then it like goes longer or something, and I'm just like,
why are you doing this?
This isn't a song. Like this doesn't work. And it's also it's
like awful for their attention span.
It's terrible. I mean,
it's almost like a robot made that
it's like
show.
AI. Like someone was like, ChatGPT,
this was
make
the first.
me a very successful TV show for children.
Yes.
And that's what it would come up with.
Yeah. Make me a show that'll turn my child into a zombie.
Pretty much, yeah.
So we used to watch that a little bit, and we're not having that anymore.
We watched like 2 episodes, and we're like, no.
It's this weird thing that almost every parent is like, oh, we tried Coco Melon. Like, as if it's like a restaurant that had really bad reviews. Like,
yeah. We tried it. We tried it.
You know, we had the appetizers weren't too good.
Not for us.
Yeah. Next question. Do you have a favorite kid's toy? Like when Holland plays with it, you actually enjoy playing with it also?
A favorite kid's toy?
You can do activity also.
I don't know. I'm trying to get her into golf right now.
Oh, okay.
So that I can have an excuse to golf.
You're really into golf right now.
Yes, exactly. So she has like a little plastic, I guess an iron about this long.
Yeah.
And she kind of gets it. Like I've shown her, 2 hands, you bring them back like this, and then swing through, and she gets that part, and then she like gets to about here, and then just like takes one hand off and just kind of swings at the ball a little bit. And
that's great.
So that's selfishly my favorite toy for her because we have 2 clubs. So I get to hit as well, and hopefully she develops a love for golf, and then I can take her with me. Yeah.
Isn't it great to try to explain momentum to your like 2.5-year-old? No. Whenever you stop your hands here, you stopped listening already. So you want to do swing through. Now you're laughing at me. Now you're laughing. Okay, cool.
Exactly. Now you're playing with something else.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
All right. Last question. moment of your kid's life you are most excited to be a part of?
Ooh, like in the future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's a tough one. I mean, I think the obvious answers are like first day of school, like a wedding.
That's fine. First thing that comes to your mind.
Yeah, school, something. I think graduating college.
Yeah.
If she decides to go to college, which we are going to push on her. But if you don't go to college, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We are going to encourage her to go to college. And if she does, and if she graduates, and when she graduates, I think that will be one of those moments. Or even when I changed my mind. If she goes to college, it's when she leaves for college. When she is leaving the house, I mean, I'm going to be an emotional wreck. I guess I'm not excited for that, but I don't know. It's kind of a dual thing. I guess I misunderstood the question.
No. There's like this moment of you spend all this time raising your child, putting like helping them build their identity, basically.
Yes.
And then college or something like that, or getting married is this first opportunity to see them actually take it on for themselves.
Exactly.
It's no longer their interpretation of what you've told them who they are.
Yeah.
They actually have to step out there and figure it out for themselves.
Yeah.
And you have so much like hope and belief and love for them of like, so I know who I think you are, but who are you actually?
Yeah. I hope I didn't screw this up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
find out in the first month.
Let me know the therapy bill later.
Yeah.
Thank you. But no, that is a consistent answer. Is like, whenever they when they get married, whenever they go off to college, because this is a moment of finally realizing that like your kid gets to actually like define themselves in a new way and gets to like take these huge steps that were ultimately really big for yourself.
Yeah, I guess, yes.
Yeah.
The more you explain it, the more clear
gave a
it's
good answer,
becoming
Joe,
in my
okay?
head. I am definitely excited to see, because she's a very independent girl as it is, and she's only 2. So I'm definitely excited to see when she's more grown up and when she goes to college and is finding herself, what kind of person she turns out to be. And, that's definitely something I'm excited for.
Yeah. Nice.
Thank you. I had the right answer. I just needed your help explaining it.
You know what?
Yeah.
Every once in a while I can be helpful. It's good to know.
You read my mind.
Yes.
You knew what was in
well,
there.
yes.
Devin, you are a mind reader.
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, we normally give an opportunity for like self-promotion right now. Do you want to like promote like your Instagram handle or anything like that? If people want to follow you, to show up at a game and scream Morgan Freeman at you.
Yes, exactly.
We're going to find out we are going to find out.
Why Morgan Freeman?
That's, if nothing else comes from this podcast, I need to know.
Lemon brownies and why are they screaming Morgan Freeman?
If somebody is out there,
the lemon
reach
brownies,
out to us.
By the way.
Looks pretty good.
Gluten-free lemon brownies. That Devin baked for me. This is an incredible gift. So thank you so much for that. I can't tell you how I'm excited I am.
Good.
Half this plate is going to be gone tonight.
I would appreciate that.
Okay.
I go to Nashville SC game. You guys still have like, you're not even the halfway point in the season yet. There's tons of home games.
We are early on in the season. Our next home game is
San Jose
in 2 weeks. Yeah.
I think it's
3 weeks.
Yeah, last Saturday.
Yeah. So we have a bye this weekend, and we play at Miami next weekend. At home against San Jose the following.
Is it pretty cool to be on the same field as Messi? Just have to ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
You didn't have to think about that at all.
I mean, like,
No, and I'm not going to try and play it off like a cool guy or anything.
I'd rather not watch him score goals against you.
Likewise.
Yes.
Yeah.
But watching him on the field is like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. To be honest, like, I didn't know how I would react because I've been in that situation before. It was like my second year in the league. We played against LA Galaxy when David Beckham was there.
Oh my God, really?
And I grew up as a huge Manchester United fan.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And so like
Idol.
when we like did the pregame handshake, I like shook his hand and he like looked into my eyes and smiled and I like melted. My knees went weak. I was like,
that's awesome.
You are handsome.
Very good.
Cow, yeah. Holy cow, you're him, aren't you? And then,
you had a boy crush on him.
Yeah,
I mean, it's David
he's a
Beckham.
good-looking guy. But so no, that was the first time I was ever starstruck.
Yeah.
And I've played against some other big guys, and it's never been to that level. And then to be honest, it wasn't even at that level when we played Messi, because I think I just built, I at least prepared myself enough. And like we got to the line to walk out, and I like looked over and I saw him, and I was like, okay,
that's it.
There he is. We're 2 feet away from each other. We're gonna play. The whistle blew and to start the game, and I was like, okay, it's over. I can officially say that I've played against Messi. Now let's focus on winning the game and playing soccer and doing my job. So yeah, and you know, it's after, like I said, after that first whistle blew, it was like
honed in,
shut it off, and it's just another opponent and another game.
Yep.
But
I remember watching that game.
Well,
the first one.
Well, that would have been Panico goal for that one.
Last year?
Yeah. He played like whenever Messi played this season.
We played them twice last year, and I missed both of those games. And then this year, I got to play against them twice, and he scored 2 goals on me.
Yep.
So that sucked. But in hindsight,
well, you get to say, "Hey, he scored 2 goals on me."
Add it to the resume.
Yeah,
exactly. In hindsight, it's like, man, there have been a lot of good players who have scored goals against me. So that's kind of sucks, but it's kind of cool too.
Yeah,
I know Dax McCarty has made a podcast for like being a journeyman and everything. If you could start a podcast that is after you retire and everything of like guys who have scored goals against you, it would be a hilarious idea.
I mean, I would definitely wouldn't be able to get any of them on it. They're all too big time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Could just show a
or
highlight.
Could you?
Like, here's the free kick that Thierry Henry curled over the wall into the top corner.
No one would have ever been able to stop. So here it is.
Yeah, just a lot of those.
Yep, pretty much.
But, you know, I don't need to tell anyone, you know, that they scored on me. I could just say that I played against them.
That's the detail that you're focusing on.
Yeah,
exactly.
I respect that.
What was the score that came?
I don't
remember. It was so long ago.
Wasn't it last week?
Hard to say.
Yeah, I have a goldfish. I'm a goldfish.
Yeah, hard to say. Yeah.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for your time, man.
Thanks, man.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks again for listening. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at the Nashville Dads and to subscribe to us on Apple and Spotify podcast. We record at New Light Podcast Studio, and episodes are produced by me, Devin.